Hi, parents. I thought I would just stop here for a minute and stop and visit my son's grave site. This is where his body was laid to rest on August. I'm not sure of the day it was laid here, but the accident happened on August 25th, 1986, 32 years ago. And he was excited to get to school. It was the first day of school. He loved school. He was smart. He was a really good student, and he was sociable, and he had a lot of friends, and he was so excited to get there and see these friends. And so he was probably not as cautious as he should have been on his way to school. And a lady was coming, and the sun was low in the sky. She was heading east and probably didn't see him because of the glare on her windshield. And I remember hearing the screech of brakes, and I had just said goodbye to him just moments before, and my last words to Ryan were, "It's going to be a good year, bud." And he said, "Yeah, Mom." And there's a great story I would love to tell all of you. So if you get a chance to ask me about it, I don't want to put it on here, it'll take too long. But ask me to tell you the story about our last morning together. It was amazing. As you'll see, the verse on this headstone is Jeremiah 17:7 and 8. And Ryan and I had actually had a conversation about that verse really soon. I am not sure, maybe 1 or 2 weeks before he went home to be with the Lord. It's one of my favorite passages, and it's come to mean more to me since that day. I hope you'll look it up. But he actually, when we were talking about it, he went into his bedroom, and he came out a little bit later, and he had drawn a picture of the verse. And it has to do with extending your roots to the stream, and you will not cease to bear fruit in your year of drought. Well, little did I know that was a prophetic verse. I really firmly believe God was preparing me for what was about to happen. And when you read that passage, you'll see what I'm talking about. So this picture is really a special picture. In fact, I've asked all of our grandkids if they would please draw us their rendition of a tree planted by this stream, as it describes in Jeremiah 17:7 and 8. And I would love to just have a wall just filled with all the interpretations of that verse from all of our grandchildren. I look forward to that someday. So I wanted to, this is what brought this about, is my husband and I signed up to get school supplies for a child, and we were able to pick the grade level and the gender. And of course we picked a 5th grade boy because that's the year Ryan was going into when the accident occurred. And so it was kind of bittersweet picking out all of these school supplies. This isn't my first video. I have recorded a couple of others. And so I'm past the crying stage, but it was really bittersweet for me to pick out these items and just remember back 32 years ago when I was purchasing school supplies for the last time for my 10-year-old boy. I pray great blessings over this child, whoever he is, and that God's hand will be upon him this year, and that he would learn as much as he can, that he would be attentive to his teacher, that he would be kind to his classmates, and that God would raise him up to be a mighty warrior for Christ, whoever he is. I wanted to show you a little bit of Ryan. Where he is? Okay, here is my picture of him when he was 2 years old, I believe. He's close to 2 anyway. Just a sweet little boy with so much love in his heart and so full of life. He was a sweet boy. And then here's a picture of him just before he passed away. I think this was the last family, well, I don't think, I know this was the last family picture we ever had taken together. He was our only son. He had 4 sisters, and he adored them all. He was a good brother. He was so kind to them. And our youngest, I think it's the youngest right here, has, I don't know if she remembers it or if I'm thinking of this one, but he would go up and pinch their cheeks and tease them and just kiss on him. And oh, he doted on his, especially his baby sisters. But he loved them all. He was a good, kind, compassionate, living, breathing little boy who had talent. He was actually learning how to paint. And so our neighbor helped him paint this picture. And he was just beginning, but he did enjoy his painting. He liked to draw as well because, as I said, he drew the picture of Jeremiah 17:7 and 8. We have a couple of his paintings, and I treasure them so much. I hope that in heaven he's getting to paint and sing and dance. Oh, that kid had a voice. He had a voice that perfect pitch. I love to hear him sing. It was back in the days of Salty and all those really cool songs that kids were singing. We were playing for them at VBS and different places during that era. He loved learning Bible stories. One of his favorite ones was the story of Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus was a wee little man was he. He climbed up in the sycamore tree for the Lord he wanted to see. Some of you might remember that song. I can still hear his voice singing that. And I hope, well, I don't hope, I know. He's been able to meet Zacchaeus. He loved Zacchaeus. Brian was short. He was a little on the short side. I think he would have grown eventually. But that story really touched his life because Zacchaeus was short too. So, but he's not here. He is with Jesus Christ. And I know he's dancing around the throne of God, just eating it up there. And he's waiting for us. And someday soon we're going to see him again. And but you know what? I don't want anyone else to have to go through that heartache. So just talk to your kids before they leave for school. Give them one last stern warning. Even play this for them if you want to. I wanted to come out here. There's something about this cold, hard stone that makes it more real. I just want it to touch home with the kids and with the drivers. So pay attention to speed limits. If you're at all impaired for any reason, don't drive. Do the rest of us a favor and just stay home that morning. Just be aware that they're going to be out there. These kids, they haven't been out all summer, and it's going to be a whole different situation. So use caution and care, I beg you, as you're driving to school, not just the first day of school, but every day. Just watch out. Kids are unpredictable, and you don't know what they're going to do. So with that, I'm going to close. Thank you so much for listening, and I pray that this little video will make a difference in the lives of people today, young and old. So God bless you all. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you later. This will be my Friday focus for this week. So it's a Monday focus, actually happening on Monday, but this will take the place of my Friday focus that I typically put on Facebook. So thank you so much for listening. The Lord bless you all. Bye-bye.